Welcome to CivilNet. My guests today are Anait Mkhoyan and Lilit Margosyan. Thank you for joining us here at CivilNet. Anait, you are the director of the Homeland Development Initiative Foundation, and Lilit, you represent One Armenia. You are their PR and social media person, as it were. And we asked you to join us today to talk about the Golden Wheat Festival that's going to be taking place in Vardenis. There are so many festivals taking place in Armenia in the last couple of years, Anahid, and HDIF, the Homeland Development Initiative Foundation, was the brainchild behind several of them. Talk to me, why is this one special? What was the objective purpose of doing a Golden Wheat Festival in Vardenis?
Yeah. Regardless of the fact that every festival has the same goal, but at the same time, each of them is very special because they have different topics and they're being implemented in different regions of Armenia, which are very special, each of them in their terms. So Golden Wheat Festival is special because first of all, it's going to be in a very nice area, and it is a remote area. And we have wonderful women working there. It will be a very good opportunity for them to sell their products at the same time to market their product. It's special because it's about wheat, and we know how important it is, bread for Armenian family and every Armenians. I think we are one of the nations which has a special worship towards wheat. And now we are trying to revive it and brand it in Vardenis region. They have wonderful wheat fields, and they have really nice crop. And while doing with One Armenia for crowdfunding all this filming, I was really enjoying how big and beautiful they are, and I could understand why it was so important for them.
Lily, tell me, how does One Armenia fit into the scheme? What is your involvement with this festival?
So One Armenia is a for-purpose organization, and what we do is try and connect the global community with change makers in Armenia to implement projects that focus on culture and technology. And so with HDIF, obviously we are fundraising for the festival. We launched an Indiegogo campaign that's still going. But besides just raising money, One Armenia wants to sort of harness the very large diasporan community that we have and get them involved with what HDIF is doing in the regions and sort of bring everyone together around this festival.
You know, these festivals, oftentimes we always hear that their objective is to encourage tourism to the region. Sometimes they're very remote areas, like you said, to activate or provide a platform for those skilled people that live in those different cities and regions. In Vardenis, for example, HDIF has the Vardenis sewing project, right? And I think it was the catalyst for this. It's a group of women who
are making products. They're sewing, and they're making handicrafts which are both ethnic and also usable in some terms.
And marketable, right?
Marketable. And they're marketable this because HDIF is really working on making the products marketable. The main investment that our organization is doing, it's making them marketable. And what we do, we just take the group which is already has some potential for growing, and then we start investing in terms of knowledge and skills. And now we also invest in developing them as business entities, and later on start promoting them to be self-reliable and sustainable. And festival is one of this. One of the means of making them sustainable. How we can make them sustainable when we promote the region and have several events that are organized there, and also making them more charismatic and more open for accepting tourists in their sites. Festivals are one of the means to introduce the region to Armenian and non-Armenian tourists which are coming to Armenia, and also bring them to the site and make their visits repetitive while giving them chance to have good experience in the region.
Lilith, I want to return back to the crowdfunding campaign. In recent years, we've seen a lot of initiatives being realized thanks to crowdfunding. How has this particular campaign been working out, and what are the deadlines, and when is the deadline actually for people to be able to donate to help this festival come to fruition?
So right now we're in our third week of fundraising, and the deadline of the campaign is September 4th at midnight. And so far we've reached our $7,000 goal, but we have 8 days to raise 3,000. And so far it's going pretty well, but of course we're constantly sharing the campaign and asking people to spread the word and share it with their friends and family so that we can reach our goal.
And have you done crowdfunding initiatives before, and have they been successful?
Yeah, that's a very big part of what One Armenia does. We've had 7 different campaigns thus far, and all of them have been extremely successful. We either reach about 98% to above 100% funding. So that's sort of the format that we've been working with, and so far it's been going well.
Anahid, you know, you've had many years of experience in civil society, working in the regions. HDIF, which was the brainchild of Timothy Straight, who is the Honorary Consul of Norway and Finland to Armenia, who has, you know, devoted his life to developing products in the regions, empowering women mostly. I think that's where it all began. And now, of course, it's not only for women, it's men who are also craftsmen, woodworkers, wood carvers, stone carvers. What are some of the products that are going to be on display in Vardenis? What are the specialties that Vardenis has, aside from the wheat, obviously?
Yeah. Actually, we try for each festival to find artisans from the same area. And during this festival, we found extra 2 or 3 people who will be will continue working with HDIF. At the same time, from now, as far as this is the first year that we have these festivals in range. The only festival which was the 3rd year of implementing was Shamshadin Hanen Pear Festival, and this year we are happy to announce that we phased out from Shamshadin because we have local partners who can implement by themselves. And in other places it is the first time, and when it is the first time we have the problem of having good quality handicrafts at place. When we have this problem, we mobilize all our resources all over Armenia. For example, we have Sisiank ceramics, and we have Goris crochet and Kapam crochet, and we mobilize all of them to make a thematic handicrafts which will be sold at Vardenis Festival alongside with the local producers. But gradually, year by year, it will be all local producers.
Right. It's really curious for me. When you go into a city like Vardenis for the first time, you want to start a festival, are people skeptical?
Yes, they're always skeptical. It's
not going to work. Nobody's going to come.
Yes, and it's not their fault actually. It's we are a country of a transition phase, and during the transition phase, we become a plot for experiments. And you know, like people who are passing several experiments which are not working become more and more skeptical, and our task becomes more and more difficult to persuade them this is going to work. This is going to work, and every time, like up to the last moment, we have people who develop products and also food. Food is more fragile actually, because if they won't sell the handicrafts during the festival, then we can sell the handicrafts from HDIF afterwards and with no problem, because we have good marketing tools. But food
is perishable.
Yes.
You can't sell it a week later.
Yeah, and yes, exactly. And we have to be really keen about developing the right amount, and so that people are able to sell. And these are villagers, and we can't hurt them too. And we had a couple of cases when good stories, failures, and learned lessons. But it works because people start believing in that. At the day of festival, they decide to have another festival, and I think this is the mark of success.
A couple days ago, I made the trip up to Lake Sivan and Vardenis in order to do preparations for the Golden Wheat Festival, which will be on September 20th in Vardenis. First, we visited Vardenis Sewing, one of HDF's oldest projects. I also visited Vardenis Stone Carving, one of HJF's newest projects. Both Vardenis Sewing and Vardenis Stone Carving will be selling their products at the festival on September 20th. And at the end of an intensive day of work with the handicrafts producers in Vardenis, we enjoyed the sunset along the shores of Lake Sivan. I hope to see you all at the Golden Wheat Festival on September 20th in Vardenis.
I remember last year we were covering the Shamshadin Honey and Berry Festival live, and we were talking to the vendors who were selling, fruit, juices, food, sandwiches, and they were saying that, the first year none of them believed that people would come and they didn't have enough food, and so last year they were better prepared, and they did have, because they started believing. So when they see the result, they start believing. Are you partnering up with other organizations for this festival?
I think there are a few organizations. Anahit might know the names a little better.
We have Jinisha Memorial Foundation, who is always investing some portion of money into every festival, because it is an economic development initiative and it is one of the priorities of Jinisha Memorial Foundation. And then we have local partners. We also encourage corporate partnership in this time, but I think now it is more difficult to make corporate partners to believe that this is something good for their social responsibility, at the same time later on for generating more income than working with the local partners. We have this, I think HDIF is one of the organizations who is partnering more every time, partners more than 4, 5, 6 organizations in order to make the initiative going. Why? Because we truly believe that every initiative will be sustainable if we have local partners and we have people to whom we'll hand over later on. We can exist forever, and until the initiative is owned locally, then it will be
not sustainable, right?
Exactly. And now for the Vardenis, we have Armenian Caritas, who has economic community development programs in Vardenis. World Vision, again, they have community developments program. Municipality is very active. YMCA is going to commit the entire troop of volunteers doing the work on ground. I think those are the organizations that are on ground working.
Okay, just so our viewers know, when is the festival? We didn't talk about a date. And how far is it from Yerevan, and will there be transportation for people who don't have the means to get there?
Yes, it's going to be on September 20th. And we will have transportation. If people follow our Facebook page, we will post all the data and phone numbers where they can call and book for a bus, a place in a bus. And they're generally leaving early in the morning, around 7 to 8 o'clock from Tamanyan Monument.
Which is by the Cascade, yeah.
By the Cascade, yes. Then also transportation is provided to journalists who would like to. For journalists, it's free of charge. The other one, of course, it has to be paid for round-trip transportation. Now the fees are not fixed yet, but it's 3 hours, right?
3 hours.
From 2.5, it depends
on if it's a bus or a car.
Or a car, sure. Yes. And everyone is welcome to come. Buses are available, cars are available. This is an area which is very easy to reach. and it is very important both for Armenians, local Armenians, and non-local Armenians, and non-Armenians to participate in this festival, for people to believe that they're not alone in this remote area.
That's right, that's right. Yeah, that people do remember that they exist and they have something to give back to society. This year we've seen the Daras Festival, the Sheep Shearing Festival, the Honeyberry Festival, so many different festivals in Armenia, throughout Armenia, covering most of the regions. So it's a very commendable initiative, and I want to thank you for joining us to help us understand a little bit more about the objective behind it and what people can expect when they go. So thank you very much. I'd like to remind our viewers that my guest was Anait Mekhoyan. She is the director of the Homeland Development Initiative Foundation, and Lilit Margosyan of One Armenia. She's the PR and social media person there. And I'd like to tell all of you that you can go to their Facebook pages, to the Indiegogo site, and look up Golden Wheat Festival, make your contributions to ensure that this festival takes place. Follow CivilNet.